theologian debate chat. There was a gentleman which disliked anime because that little anime girl from the Vatican is driving the religious people crazy. Not all of them, like some of them. And he was like, I don't like anime. And I'm like, but why though? It's degenerate. So let me get this straight. You don't like anime because it has degeneracy, but you're using the internet and social media. Is it like no seriously? Like if you were to have like a scale from 1 to 10, like how degenerate is anime? I mean, it's pretty low compared to Netflix, right? Like the Americans are capable of outproducing Japan when it comes to degeneracy. Just look at Disney, right? So I would say anime is like a 6. Now let's put the fucking internet there. If you put the internet on that scale, based on how degenerate the stuff you can find is, I would say it's like a 15, and then add social media, add Twitter, right? So like, oh my goodness, no, anime, it's degenerate. Now he was like, yeah, but I use the internet to spread the message of the Lord. Jesus has chosen me to spread his word, and in order to reach the masses, I need to use the internet. What do you think the Vatican is doing? Like, they're using an anime girl in order to reach the youth, and I guarantee to you there's more people talking about Christianity now than there were last week, so... No, I mean, yeah, like, anime and manga is way too broad to rate it, but you got, like, these people, my god, I call them inquisitors or crusaders, we'll talk about it in a bit, but they do not differentiate between, I don't know, Death Note and redo of Healer, like just because it's the same style and it comes from the same country. And it reminds me of social justice activists that would criticize video games and they do not differentiate between Candy Crush and Manhunt, you know? I was actually, again, having a theological debate with someone else that's also a Christian but is not mentally ill. And they were pointing out that it's bizarre that the Vatican is trying to reach people, and they're basically noticing that a lot of young folk aren't interested in Christianity, so they're really upset about it. And they're like, okay, well, this is how we can reach young people. And the moment they do that, there are Discord spurgs that are like, no fun allowed. You're not allowed to have fun. You're only allowed to have suffering and penance. So why is it? You know, like, why are some Christians, because not all, but, like, some of them are very anti-fun, especially in my country. Like, I genuinely know this thing. Like, I used to have an ex-girlfriend, and she actually felt bad for having fun. Like, I'm not kidding. Like she felt like she's sinning every single time she had fun. And it's like, how can you live like that? But I decided to... Well, I mean, there's more than 2 categories, but I decided to, like, categorize Christians into these 2 categories. So you have, like, the pious Christian, right? Like, and the pious Christian, they believe in Christianity because they find it wholesome, and they generally find that Christianity can improve their lives. So, like, they're concerned about themselves, they're concerned about their family, and they're concerned about their immediate community, but they're not really concerned about what other strangers do. You know, like, people that they don't know, they don't talk to, they're not that concerned about them. You can be friends with them, like if they know you're an atheist or a Muslim, they don't care, right? Like, for them, what's important is what's in their heart. And again, the heart of their family and immediate loved ones, right? So these are, like, the pious Christians that like Christianity because it betters their lives. But then you have, like, the other Christians, the inquisitors, the crusaders. These go out and use Christianity as a weapon. They have, like, the standard of what it means to be a Christian, and if you don't fit that standard, they use Christianity to constantly attack you. It's also interesting how they use it to attack people they dislike, and they give a pass to the people they like. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's quite often. And this is not about Christianity. It's also about, like, secular movements. Like, social justice is the same shit. Like, there are people who do not believe in social justice, but they use the ideology to attack the people they dislike. And when it's someone they like, it's someone like Vosh, even if he transcends, even if he makes, like, politically incorrect stuff, like, they're willing to give it a pass. And they do not use the ideology to actually improve themselves. They probably don't even care about the ideology that much. And what's also interesting is that the sins they have, they think that those are little sins, but the sins that you have, they think that those are major sins. So, like, for instance, if you have someone that's a chronic drinker, like, he finds drinking not to be a problem, but if he finds someone enjoying porn well, that is like beyond the pale. That is like a very grave mortal sin, right? So like again, their sins, what they do is trivialize that if they see it in others, it's like, it's not okay, but like they're not really that upset about it. And if they see other sins that maybe they don't have or they don't want to admit, like those are the real problems. And the Westboro Baptist Church was caught in an interview with this. Like they had the son out of wedlock, which is a sin, right? But they didn't find that to be a problem. That's like, but like homosexuality, that was the issue. And for the Crusader, the happiness is in the attacking. Like that's the whole thing. It's when you attack someone, when you go after someone, that's what actually brings them joy. They do not find joy and wholesomeness in the ideology itself, because like the ideology always makes them miserable because the world never is what they want it to be. Like they are constantly striving to achieve this perfection in the world by attacking random people, but like that action is never actually going to change the world, and no matter how much the world changes, they're never going to be satisfied. So they can't find happiness. Meanwhile, like the person that actually uses the ideology to improve themselves, they definitely find happiness. So yeah, your favorite YouTuber, the Chronicle Drinker, he's not a crusader. I don't see him like going around and attacking random strangers for disagreeing with him. If they did, they would know to judge righteously and not believe you shouldn't judge. Again, like I think most people should be concerned about themselves and their family, and like their immediate friends and loved ones. Basically, like if the perfect benchmark test is when you tell someone to fuck off, right? Like this is how you get rid of the Inquisitors. You just tell them to fuck off. Because if it's a close friend or a family member, you wouldn't tell them to fuck off, right? Like you wouldn't tell your mom to fuck off. You wouldn't tell your boss to fuck off, because these are people you actually have relationships with and you have like a close connection with, so you don't want to ruin that. But if it's a person that you can tell that and they have no response, then do it. I really dislike people that tell you how to behave, but they wouldn't help you if you're in a pitch. Right? Because they generally don't concern about you then. Like they do not care about you if they behave like that. Like the only reason you would tell someone else how to behave is if you actually cared about them, right? So like you tell your friend like, hey, stop smoking or stop drinking because you actually care about them, right? You don't want them to get sick. But when it's a stranger and you tell them how to behave, the only reason you do that is out of pure selfishness and greed. Like you want that person to behave in a way to make you happy, right? So you want to dominate, you want to control someone that you don't know, a complete stranger, just to make you happy. In which case you have, like you must. It's imperative that you fuck off. Let Matt cook, yeah. Matt Walsh is just going to grill even harder. No, I think like Matt Walsh made the joke with the anime is satanic thing, but I can also make joke after he made the joke, right? Like he put it out there, and if it's out there, then I can attack him. It's fine. If you have a neighbor which is acting like a fool around others, your children and others' children, it's your concern. Yeah, this is why I said that if it's about your family and close ones, sure. But if it's a person on the internet, there is no fucking concern, right? Like if it's a random person over the internet who is doing something, it's none of your fucking business. Like, there is no way you can tell me that raging at people over social media is anything else besides crusading. Especially when you tell them what to do and how to believe. Like, unless it affects you, of course. Like, if they're, interfering with your hobbies or something like that, I get it, right? Like there's someone that is trying to infiltrate your Discord in order to ban all your friends. Yeah, sure, that's an exception. But if it's like random people on Twitter, no. Matt Walsh's problem is he makes every statement in the same deadpan way. Well, no, like there are certain ideologues. I wouldn't say Matt Walsh is one of them, but in this particular case, it fits the criteria. There are certain ideologues that say absolute dumb, retarded shit. And if you don't say anything about it, if you allow it unquestioned, then they say, oh, well, people agree with me, right? Like, they want you to take it seriously. But if you pressure them on the dumb, retarded shit, all of a sudden they backtrack and they go like, well, I was just joking. I was just pretending, right? So, like, it's a joke if you push on it, but it should be taken seriously if you shut the fuck up, which I really hate this debating tactic. But unfortunately, it is very effective. A lot of people do it, so. Again, it's kind of like Matt Walsh with anime is satanic, right? Like, if you don't say anything, then he probably means it, right? Because it's like he said it. But like if you pressure it, it's like, well, it's a joke. Like obviously he's trolling. Obviously he's joking. And I saw like a lot of leftists do the same. And it's very annoying. Yeah, it's like I was only pretending. Yes. You literally made a video where you said that social media discourse influences public life. Yeah, sure, but like I don't think that the solution is to attack random strangers. The solution is to actually convince other people why your way of life is better. Like this is what I do. I pretty much like do not lecture people even in my videos. I don't tell others what to do. Right? Like I just tell them, oh look, this game is something that I like, Nikkei. I noticed that it's a good game, Stellar Blade, it's a game that I like. Or I say, well, these games are shit, right? But I never tell someone, it's like, hey, don't buy these games. Like, if you want to buy a game, do it, right? Like, it's on you. I just tell you my opinion. And if you want to follow what I do, that's fine. If you don't, it's also fine. Like, I'm not trying to change the world, right? But I do think, like, a lot of people are more attracted to honey than vinegar. Like, if you're happy and you're doing something which makes you happy, other people may say, well, this guy is doing something that's pretty legit. Let me try to do it as well. Why does no one ever say it wasn't a well thought out statement just off the cuff? Oh, well, a lot of, like, it's kind of difficult when you're speaking on the internet and you have, like, hundreds of followers or sometimes thousands or tens of thousands of followers, right? Like, they expect that everything you say should be gospel and well thought out. I mean, just look at what happened with Asmongold, right? So Asmongold talks shit about, what was it? The relationship between Palestinians and LGBTQ community. Do you think, like, if you were to say, yeah, I misspoke, like, do you think anyone would have cared? No, like, that was a reason for people to go after him, which is what they did. And now, apparently, he cleaned his house. He only cleaned half his house. Like, god damn it. How dirty can his mansion fucking be? Like, alright, let's look at Asmongold, because apparently he cleaned his house. This is what I don't get. The man is a multi-millionaire, and he actually does fit the hobo lifestyle. Like, look, I get it. You don't have a girlfriend, right? Like, you don't have a significant other, because, like, that would have made things easier. When it's two people, it's easier to clean. But, like, you can hire a cleaning lady, for fuck's sakes. Like, you're a millionaire, dude. Come on. Alright.
Keep that in mind.
Man, it's been a crazy 2 weeks, I'll tell you that. We missed you? Yeah, it's been, honestly, I'm gonna be real, it's been great. Like, there's been a bunch of people who reached out to me, they're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. I've been fine. Like, I've been so good, I've been relaxed, man. Like, I've been sitting around playing video games, fucking around. I cleaned up pretty much half of my whole fucking house.
You guys don't know how fun it is to actually play video games when you're a streamer. Because I saw people wondering, it's like, doesn't he play video games on stream? It's not the same. It's not the same. Like, you're playing with 100 in his case. He is playing with tens of thousands backseat gamers. You can't focus on the game because you gotta read the chat constantly. You gotta entertain the chat. You gotta think about what you say. And you must make sure that you're playing the game well, because if you play the game poorly, the chat is going to make fun of you. Now you say, well, you know, who cares if the chat makes fun of me? Who cares? Oh my goodness. Imagine like thousands of backseat gamers constantly mocking you for like hours. It actually builds up. And the thing is, like, when you're a streamer, you want to interact with the chat, right? You basically want to look at the chat, you pick something from there, you give a response. But when you look at the chat and everyone is like, you suck, you're dumb. Stop playing, uninstall. Like, you can't even do the banter anymore. So, it's not that difficult, but it's definitely not as enjoyable as when you finally just sit down and play a game for yourself. You know, you're just like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is it? Asmongold, did you fucking buy it? Did you fucking buy it? Is this his games? No, it's not his games. It's, oh, okay, so it's on Twitch. It's like people playing. All right. Jesus Christ. 17,000 people are playing this shit. Well, actually, like 17,000 people are watching others play this shit, so.
House. The only reason I couldn't do the other half is there's so much fucking garbage in the house. I don't know where to put everything. So I posted a couple of pictures.
How much garbage can there possibly be in the house? How can it... I mean, the man had roaches, so I get it, but like... Doesn't it smell? Like, doesn't it bother you? I'm the type of person that, like, if it's not clean, it starts to bother me, and if I can't clean it, then I call the cleaning lady. And at least in Romania, it's like $20 a day, you know? So it's not that much, and you're supporting the economy. Like, there's a person that gets to put food on the table because you're calling them. Come on!
Pictures in my on my Twitter. Let me see if I can find some of it right here. So I posted, this was my kitchen before the situation.
Jesus Christ. Is this a spider? No fucking way. No fucking way. They stood in the kitchen for so long that he actually got spiders. I mean, look, he is rich, right? Like, he is rich. Look at the silverware. Like, this is not just, like, the type of silverware you buy because you're poor and you just, like, need to get it. Good God. Imagine using these utensils in order to eat again. I would just boil them at this point. Holy shit. I wonder, like, isn't the water, like, supposed to go down? I don't think, like, he has one of those corks that, you know, makes the water gather. It's like, oh.
So basically, I had, like, yeah, this is what happened. And, you know, kitchen was pretty dirty. I thought it was pretty dirty. And I sent this to someone, and this is what it looks like now. I sent this to someone.
That's actually good cleaning. I will tell you something, though. And this is my personal observation as well. If you don't clean every day, you get demotivated. Like if you go in this kitchen, right? And let's say you have something to throw away. You don't really feel like making a mess, right? Like, let's say you go into this kitchen with a plate. You don't feel like just leaving it there because it's already clean, right? So, like, you want to maintain the cleanliness. But if you go in a kitchen that there's already, like, 4 or 5 plates, you feel, oh, I'll just put it on top of it, right? And that's how it gathers up. So, like, if you clean constantly and it always looks clean, you don't really feel like making a mess again.
And you know what they said? They said your sink was white. They didn't even know. They had no idea. They didn't even know what color my sink was. And so, yeah, so I cleaned up my whole kitchen.
Wait. I mean, you can tell that it's white. Come on. I thought it's yellow or something.
Active, physical, running around, doing crazy shit. And I used to spend 8 hours sleeping, right? Like, that was my life. And I would be outside, like, building forts, like, going out into the woods, like, doing stuff.
But, like, no one is saying you gotta clean it yourself. Like, I get it. You know, you're a streamer. You got, like, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So you gotta, like, prepare for the stream. You gotta talk with your community. You gotta actually do the streams, right? 8 hours a day. And then maybe you have, like, some time and you want to do something. Like, I get it. Hire a cleaning lady. You don't have to be the one that cleans. Unless you want to, of course.
6 hours going through mail. Like, this fucking thing I bought at Office Max, this entire fucking thing is because I was going through mail for like 4 years. Like, this is like, you know, bank statements from 2020. You got to maintain it though. Maintaining it is super easy. Okay? And if you don't believe me, you can look at my car right now. My car is fucking spotless. There is nothing in my car. There is no my living room.
Jesus fucking Christ. Dude. You know, he says that maintaining it is super easy. But, like, at one point, the house must have been maintained. Like, you cannot just say that it was always like this. So, you should be careful. You shouldn't give in to hubris. It's very easy to confuse yourself and to say, yeah, maintaining it is easy, and then you realize that it's not. It takes only a couple of moments of failure and slip up. But yeah, no, seriously, like, if your house looks like this, right, and you have, like, an empty bottle, you're just going to put it here, like, thinking, it's fine, right? And then it adds up. And then the other day, when you put another bottle, it looks even worse. To be honest, if I was Asmongold, I would just renovate the entire house at this point. Like, look, like, the walls need another layer of paint. You got cockroaches. You're a billionaire. Like, come on. This looks like grandma's carpets. And it's a beautiful house. Like I love the fireplace. And, you know, it's got, like, its charm. But look at the lights. I mean, surely you can have, like, some modern lighting here. I think, like, I think I know the problem. I think Asmongold is like me. Like he grew up in a family that was poor. And they have, like, this hoarding mentality. This mentality that you shouldn't waste money. Which is probably why he doesn't want to hire the cleaning lady. But, like, there's no... I don't understand. Like, you're working so hard. Like you're streaming, what, like 5 days a week? So 8 hours a day streaming. Plus, like, 4 more prep time. Like, 12 hours a day. Come on, it just... Why are you working so much? Like, what are you making the money for? Spend it. Money has to flow. Like, give it to other people that need it so that they can do an honest day of work. Look at the glasses and the window. Like surely you can find some better decor, right? Like, just renovate. Make a nice room. Like it feels better. Feels better. It gives you a different mindset when you walk in. And everything looks spotless and nice.
That's right. Yep. And I cleaned the entire fucking thing.
That's not clean.
And
like, I'm sorry to say, this is not fucking clean. Also, you need to throw some shit out. You need to throw some shit out. It's not feng shui. It's not feng shui. No, but, like, dude, it's difficult to walk around. There's no reason that you should have this amount of furniture. Like, what you need to do, and again, I don't think you will do it. Because it does seem to be that type of, the archetype of person that's not doing this. But if I was here, I would throw everything out. Just everything. Everything out. The carpets, the furniture, all of it. Throw it out. Buy new ones. Do you know how fun it is? Do you know, like, how awesome it feels when you go out and you buy furniture, right? You go to the furniture store and you look around and you're thinking, okay, this goes here and that will go there. And when it finally arrives and the room starts to look the way you want it to look, it feels so amazing. Dude, like, seriously, it's like one of the few pleasures in life when you have a house that's empty and you start decorating it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
All of this, by the way, like, for example, like, these are plates that my mom bought for Cody. Cody hasn't been able to pick them up yet. And so they've just been sitting here for, like, really a couple of years. These are boxes for, like, unboxing on stream. This is a box for, like, Imaru, and, like, this is some other box. Like, so and these are, I'm giving this stuff away to, like, Salvation Army or something like that.
But, like, why is this one? What is this? This is what I'm saying, right? Like, this is why I say it's not clean. Like, if my house looks... I understand you don't have where to put the boxes, and you're giving them away, so you're like, okay, fine. But, like, why is the carpet like that? If my house looks like this, I would say it's dirty.
And so, like, a lot of the things that you still see here are just, like, in transit. But, like, everything, for all intents and purposes, is clean, right? Like, everything's...
No! Asmongold, you need to keep yourself to better standards. I'm not dissing on you. I'm actually trying to help. You need to keep yourself to better standards. Like, this is not clean. This is not in transit. This is scope.
It's done. Like, I'll vacuum it eventually, right? But otherwise, it's pretty much done.
There's no I'll vacuum eventually. You either do or don't. There is no eventually.
So, yeah.
You know what you can do? You can buy one of those Roombas, but like, the Roomba actually requires the house to be somewhat clean. Like this is going to kill the Roomba. Like the little battery isn't going to work on that shit. It's just way too much. SRC Maker, thank you for the $20. Does that look like a millionaire house? I know, right? Where's the granite or quartz center top? That's contractor special. Fornica from Connor looks like 1970. Why do you know all these things? I think he just doesn't care. He needs a therapist. No, it's fine if you're not into consumerism. Like, you don't have to be into consumerism, right? And if you're not into consumerism, that doesn't mean you need a therapist. Like, if he likes the house for whatever reason, like maybe he got it from his mom or fine. But you renovate it. It's old. It looks like my grandma's house. Like, why do you want to live like that? He probably has to be careful cleaning. Some of that garbage is load bearing. Oof. Please pull up the video. We spend the day at Asmongold's house by Steak and Eggs podcast. You can see the full house to get an idea. No. But I do believe you. Asmongold is a champion of Nurgle. He probably is. Look, I'm not the one to talk. Like, I too don't like cleaning. I genuinely hate cleaning. But it's gotta be done. So, like, once a week, I just take the morning out. Because usually in the morning, you feel like the most energetic. And you can do these things when you grow a little bit more older. You know, when you reach your midlife crisis. You're like, okay, well, it's morning. So now I got the energy. And you just get out of bed and you start cleaning right away. Like, you don't do anything. Like, you don't eat, you don't nothing until you get it done. And if you do that once a week, there's not that much to do. Like, in my situation, cleaning means, you know, picking up whatever's, like, leftover, like plastic, plates, whatever. You just get rid of them. Get them out of the way, I mean. And then you just vacuum. And you mop the floors. That's it. If you do it every single week, it shouldn't take more than 4 hours. If you have like a house with 4 rooms like I do. Honestly, I can see how this would be a victory. No, I know. It's like, if you never clean and you clean once, you feel like it's an accomplishment. And that's great, but it needs to become a habit. Like, if it doesn't become a habit, then just doing it once, it doesn't matter. The reason I know this stuff is that my family is all union construction workers. I'm the first to go to college. That's pretty cool. My grandfather and the uncle taught me how to renovate the entire house. Yeah, renovating a house is quite an endeavor because I had to do it with an apartment that I inherited. And it's very easy for people to scam you. It's very difficult to understand what needs to be done if you never did it before. So I can understand, like, it's a daunting task. It's very noisy. It causes a lot of mess. But if you're a billionaire, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Like, just get a place to stay. You know, just rent a one-room apartment for a couple of months. You go there and just let the people to do the stuff that needs to be done in your house. My house has looked worse than this. It's not a competition, Cero. God, it's not a competition. Dev is spurging in his latest video, replying to 150 comments. I don't know why you do that. Like, why are you trying to convince people that you're right and they're wrong on the internet? Sorry, not that. I expressed it in a poor way. Why would you make a video that you know people will disagree and then you just attack them? Just make the video and shut the fuck up. It's kind of like me making a video saying that the earth is flat and then starting to argue with the people. You know, it's like, what exactly am I accomplishing? Like, you're not going to get a person that will say, oh, well, actually, he is right and I was wrong all the time. You know, because it's the internet. It doesn't work that way. Well, the house ownership in Romania is like, I think it was 90%. So, you know, if in your country it's not normal for people to own houses, like, do not think that I'm like in America and I own a house or some shit. Like my house was $100,000 when I got it. It was probably cheaper. It was like 90,000. So like prices in Romania are different. Maybe we can get it up. We need a little bit more immigrants, right? We need a little bit more immigration, and then maybe we can get the prices up. Asmongold did have a girlfriend. She did paid BDSM. Okay, but like, he doesn't have one now. Like, what does her doing paid BDSM have to do with cleaning? Like, you can do paid BDSM and clean. In fact, you must clean. If you don't clean the toys, they get infected, so. Hi V, cooler city, Cluj or Brasov? I don't know much about Brasov, but I know Cluj is like a very social justice Californian type city. So it's very wealthy place, very developed, but a lot of soyness. So if you like those types of cities, if you like that rich cultural diversity, go to Cluj. Don't know about Brasov though. Haven't been there, so that's why I don't know. I know it exists. So what you look like in one of your old videos. I look exactly like my troll avatar. Well, that's why I made it. I wanted something that looks like me. Brasov has the best escorts. Oh, come on. How do you know that? Anyway. I can't show you the Dragon Age leak which just came out because it's being removed from the internet constantly. But let me see if I can show something. So this is what the scene looks like, okay? I think I can show this. I mean, just look at the body language. Like it's not just that this woman looks exactly like a male, but the body everything. There's not an ounce of femininity. Even when they sit with their legs spread like they have testicles that would get squashed if they get. And meanwhile, the men have like the most feminine positions ever, right? Like, you notice that it's in a lot of AAA games now. But look at the dialogue. Again, I can't play the video because it's getting copyright strike from YouTube. So I assume that someone at Dragon Age just realized how bad this looks. Like, even they're like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Who's going to buy this, right? So they're like just purging everything. It's like hoping that people don't know, and by the time they find out, it's too late for a refund. This is actually what they say, maker's panties. Like, this is worse than fan fiction. The people that are writing this, I'm curious if they wrote anything from the previous games. The previous games were grimdark fantasy. And they believe in the Maker, and the Maker had a prophet. Kind of like Jesus, I guess. But the prophet, I think her name was Andraste. Like, look, I don't know the lore by heart, but from what I remember, I think her name was Andraste. And she was a woman, right? So when they say Maker's panties, I guess like they think that the Maker was a woman. They're confusing the lore. And like, again, like saying Maker's panties, it's like saying Jesus's panties. It's like incredibly disrespectful, but okay, whatever. And it's like so fucking cringe. As most of the dialogue is cringe. That snake's nose, she's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties, I was so proud. And then this chick goes like, you know, it's like you need to call a doctor, but not any doctor. A doctor in gender ideology, because she just got misgendered. Like, she is suffering, the pain is real, the emotions are there. Like, her spirit just got decimated by the worst magics imaginable. Necromancy, right? Like they dead named her. They brought those pronouns from the depths and showed it to her, and she's like, oh no, not the pronouns, and immediately she realizes that she was in the wrong, and she goes like, shit, they, right? She's like, they, like repeating to herself to remind herself.
Sorry.
to remind herself of the wrongness of it all. Like the fabric of reality was crushed, right? Like she used she, her. Instead, she had to use she, they. And just like a Templar which tries to reinforce reality, this is what she did. It's kind of funny, like if you actually listen to the lore of Dragon Age, the mages, right? Like this is in the first game. The mages, when they create magic, they use the veil. And the veil basically lies to reality. The veil is like trying to mislead reality that something is there that isn't. So like a fireball, right? There is no fireball, but the veil tries to trick reality and creates the fireball. But the Templars, which are the anti-mages, they reinforce reality, right? Like so by reinforcing reality, they destroy the magic. That's in the game. That's in the first game, right? You have the mages, and in order to fight the mages, you have the Templar, which are anti-mages, basically, right? Like they're like warriors that prevent mages from casting spells. And this is what's happening here, right? Like she used the veil in order to misgender her. Like the gender completely missed. And just like a Templar, she goes like they, chanting, reinforce reality, reinforce it. So she is doing a barb, right? Now what is a barb? A barb is like her doing push-ups, right? Let's see if I can find it. Right, she's doing the push-ups here. The most cringe thing, like it's... I am just telling you, but it does no justice to the level of cringe. Like, these writers have a PhD in cringe. If I want to make a game and get people to suffer, you need to hire these writers because they are the best at their craft. So she is pulling a barb. Tradition in the Lords of Fortune, from one of our members, Barv is a good guy, but his plans went sideways. Bad blood among your crew. So when someone screws up, we do a quick 10 to put it right, and it's called pulling a barf. So I'm glad that the Lords of Fortune has Tash's back. Oh, Tash isn't the first non-binary member of the Lords, really? And basically they're like, well, why don't you just apologize? It's like, no, because you can't just say sorry all the time. You gotta suffer. You gotta put in the effort. You gotta suffer and do the barf. It should be like a punishment, like a penance, like lash yourself. Just lash yourself. They, you know? They expect you to pay $70 for this game. It's... ambitious. Ambitious is the word, Chad. It's a very ambitious sell. Very ambitious sell. Recently completed the Nikkei story for comparison. How does it stand? Huh? Do you like it? Check Groobs' last tweet. Supposed guideline leak. I will. The veil is just the warp 100%. Not really, because like the warp, I guess. Like it's similar to the warp, but the warp is a lot worse. I give the entire chat permission to misgender me all day. No, you don't. Because the YouTube moderator doesn't know that. No, just you, V-chat. That's my policy in real life, including the office, even when it's the new meta. She rolled a 1 on gender and has no inspiration. Man, like seriously. I'm trying to imagine how this works. Like, let's say that I am transgender, right? So let's say I am born in a woman's body. And I don't identify as a woman. I'm like, no, this is wrong. Like, okay. Imagine this. You're isekai'd. You're isekai'd in a new world, and you're born as a woman, but you still have like all the memories and everything that you had in this life. And you're like, no, I'm not a woman. I can't accept this. I'm a man. Right? Like, you have been wrongfully placed in the wrong body. Like, you've been isekai'd, and someone just placed you in a woman's body. You're like, no, this is not who I am. So you're transgender, right? But now you can play a video game. And in the video game, you get to choose whether you want to play as a male character or a female character. And your choice is to play a female character that presents themselves as a male. How does that make sense? Like, in what world does that make any type of sense? Help me understand. If I get turned into a woman, first thing is I'm touching myself. Jesus Christ. Yeah, like Prisgonian. Exactly like Prisgonian. So let me check Grooms's new tweets. Apparently he posted some guidelines. Where are they? Grum. I found the grooms. BioWare and EA caught red-handed. The agreement leaked. It wasn't conspiracy theory. It was true. Return to form is a required phrase. Oh, my God. Like, man, the left. And I don't even know if I should call them the left, because there are so many leftists now that at least when it comes to entertainment, they're seeing the light. Like, they're still left as fuck. But they're like, this is garbage even for us. Like we too like to play video games. And this is beyond shit. We're voting for Kamala Harris. We're with her. We're white people for Harris. But like, we want to play video games and this is shit, right? So even the left are like, so it makes it very difficult to me to describe the type of antagonists that you find on Twitter that are using some of the most pathetic tactics that you can possibly imagine in order to defend this shit. Like, in the last couple of weeks, a lot of reviews and a lot of articles were talking about the Dragon Age. And all of them were saying return to form. Like, in almost every single article, you would say BioWare sees a return to form, right? So, like, people were pointing out, it's like, okay, there is a PR team that's basically telling these journalists what to write, because there's no other explanation, right? And you have these individuals on Twitter, these absolute mouth breathers going, it's like, oh, well, what is with this conspiracy theory? Do you think that behind the scenes PR teams are theorizing conspiracies? Like, oh, so what? Like, they just wrote the line. I mean, it's a very common phrase, return to form. It's very common. And I'm like, look, when I was in high school, if the teacher gave an assignment to 40 students, and 90% of them used the exact same phrase, the teacher would assume that the students have cheated because the teacher wasn't suffering from mental retardation. And we're not mentally retarded either. Like, we understand reality. If you see many publications using the same phrase, then there is something going behind the scenes, right? So stop trying. Like, I understand you want to gaslight. Like, I genuinely appreciate it. You know, like, when you shut the fuck up, you're gaslighting yourself. Like, you cannot live a single second without gaslighting something. But at least, like, try to make the gaslight somewhat reasonable. Like, try to make it at least believable. At least try to believe your bullshit. You know, at least try to say something that you yourself would believe. Come on. American Outlier, thank you for the $5. Isekai into a woman's body when you are a man. This sounds like Saga of Taria the Evil. It's interesting because Taria the Evil doesn't try to present herself as a man. If it was made in California, they would definitely have Taria the Evil struggle with her identity, but yeah. I don't think I would struggle either. I would probably just accept it. No, seriously, like, Chad, what would you do, right? Like, if you're an isekai, right? So you die on Earth of old age or whatever, and then you realize that reincarnation is real, and you reincarnate as a woman. I'll be like, okay, well, guess this is it, right? I mean, am I wrong? Maybe not everyone is like me. I don't know. You know what would be absolutely funny? Oh, this is, see, now if I was to make a video game with a story that would push all the boundaries. Like, I want to make a video game just to piss people off, right? Like, if I was like that, just like the sole purpose of the video game is to piss people off, I would make an isekai story where the main character is transgender, right? So, like, let's say male to female, and then when he reincarnates, well, she, I need to do a barf now. When she reincarnates, she gets reincarnated as a woman. And then they're also transgender because they're like, no, this is my identity. So, like, in the first life, it's like male to female. In the second life, it's female to male. What? Oh my God, like that. I'm actually imagining how the critics would react. I'm really imagining like how livid they would be if you make something like that. Anyway, let's read the thing. So, influencer trademark blah blah blah. Last Stand Media, a trademark of the company LLC. So, in other words, literally what I've been saying, a PR team. Why the fuck would I even for a second assume that a company that spends hundreds of millions of dollars on a video game wouldn't hire a PR team? Like, this is the gaslight that goes on Twitter. They just want you to believe, like, this isn't organized by a multi-million-dollar corporation that has, like, at least 2 years to plan ahead and to think about what they're going to do, and every single marketing thing is carefully planned. So you hereby agree that this NDA with EA BioWare, a subdivision of EA or Electronic Arts, blah, blah, blah. I love the fact that people hate this company so much that they're willingly breaking NDAs now. Like, you can get sued for this shit, and they're like, you know what? I don't fucking care. It's a matter of principle. We wish to communicate through this product that people in the age group of 25 to 34 know that this will be a formal return to the expected output of EA BioWare as it was once known as BioWare Corporation. The recipient of this review will agree to mention that Dragon Age the Veilguard sees a return to form at BioWare. Do you know what I would do if I was to do something like this? Like, if I was... It's called malicious compliance. It's like you comply, but you're malicious. And it would literally be like the first part of the video. Return to form, return to form, return to form, return to form. It's a return to form. And I would show Anthem. EA is an equal opportunity employer who takes the values of its diverse employee base very seriously. I wish you would take making games half as seriously. Right? Like I know we cannot make the product as important as the diversity. Like, that is the reason we are on planet Earth. Right? Like, every day, the moment we come out of the womb to the point where we go in our tomb, we live and we die for diversity. So nothing can be more important. But at least, like, half as important should be like making a product as a company. Right? Like making good video games. You know, I wish like half of the effort you spent on diversity would be for making games. You also, therefore, agree not to instigate, berate, or suggest that this game contains the following: surgical scars, male to female transgender characters, woke content, homoeroticism, racial positivity, DEI compliant features. You don't need to mention it, motherfucker. It is so self-evident. Just by the art style, like, just by seeing the art style, like, you people, you think you're subversive now. You're not. You used to be. But you're not changing the tactics. Remember when the journalists were livid that Wukong was basically telling its streamers, yeah, you can play our game, but please don't talk shit about China. Don't talk about COVID. And I think it was like, don't shit talk about Chairman Z. Or something like that. Oh, and don't bring up LGBT shit. Oh my god, the journalists were like, how can they do this? Look at these evil developers. Oh, like they're stifling criticism. They're putting the fist into the streamer's mouth. They are forbidden the streamer from speaking. Look at the level of shit that AAA from the West is doing. Like, nothing, because this is what I noticed. It's like, okay, nothing that Wukong is doing is not industry standard. You just don't see this shit because it's happening behind the scenes. You just don't know. But like most of the times, yes, like when a content creator gets an early access, they have to sign an NDA. Almost all the time. And usually it has like some stipulations, but they're not this restrictive. Anyone, seriously, anyone that played this game, anyone that previewed this game, they had to sign this, and it should tell you literally everything about their channel. I would never be caught signing something like this. Ever. I would be, how about you take this and you fuck off? we suggest to refrain from comparison games which in no functional practice had anything to do with the product. This includes comparison to God of War, or BioWare did not borrow features from title not produced by the Dragon Age Develgar team, and to suggest that will be extremely breach of trust of the parties and will be... Oh my god, this is so fucking disgusting. Holy shit, this is so authoritarian. So, like, a game is coming out and you're not allowed to compare it with other games. Refrain from personal attacks against members of EA or the team. Follow our dictionary of blacklisted things, which include transphobic slurs, misgendering pronouns, mentions of anti-white or feminist sentiments. This is the most disgusting NDA that I have ever seen in my fucking life, chat. So you're not allowed to say feminism, and the journalists aren't having a fit? Like, come on, Kotaku. Wake up, Kotaku, stop sleeping. You complained about Wukong, right? You are very upset. You are very agitated about Wukong. What's happening now, Kotaku? Why aren't you upset about this? Huh? What if I want to say that this game is a milestone for feminism? I cannot think about feminism without thinking about Dragon Age, the Vanguard. It's a big monumental achievement for feminism around the world. Like university professors have dedicated their lives slaving on a hot piece of paper in the academia in order to create the ideology which produced this marvelous game that will be remembered 20 years from now. Everyone is going to worship this shit. I can't say this because you signed an NDA. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Tomorrow is going to be fun. Dude, I'm not even interested. Like, just so you understand. It's way past the point where I would even be curious about the game. Like when Mass Defect Andromeda came out, I was curious about it because I was like, man, it's gonna be a little woke, right? Because I kind of knew the presentation and the trailer, and I was like, it's going to be a little woke, but it's Mass Effect. It's Mass Effect, right? Like, you still have, like, things to do. It's the universe to explore. Maybe the story is going to be bad, but it's Mass Effect. At least the shooting, right? The gameplay is going to be okay. Yeah, I got disappointed. But, the curiosity was there. And then, like, for a while, almost every single woke game that came out was like that. It's like, it's Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, the female characters look like dudes with wigs. But, like, it's still a fighting game, right? Like, it's still the characters that I like. You still got Sub-Zero. Like, you're coping. You're coping yourself. And then it comes a time when you're generally, like, not even interested. You're like, okay, a new game is coming out, and the trailer, it's kind of woke. I'm not going to buy it, but at least I'm going to watch someone stream it, at least I'm going to watch someone play the game for me. And if it turns out that it's good, I'll probably get it, but, like, chances are nay. And for a while, this is what I did, right? Like, a new game would come out, and it would be advertised as woke. But I was curious, and I would watch a couple of streams. I would try to see, let's see how bad can it be. Usually it was pretty bad, but now it's a time when I don't even watch the streams anymore, chat. Now it's like Concord comes out, and I genuinely thought that it's like an indie game or something. Like someone is trying to lose some money on a first project. And I haven't checked it until I hear it's like, oh, Sony invested hundreds of millions of dollars. What? That shitty game? Yeah, Spider-Man 2 was one of those games. I was like, yeah, I'm not buying it. It's like, dude, nah. I'll watch someone stream, and I'll watch someone play. And I watch people play Spider-Man 2, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't miss anything. And now it's like, not even caring about the streaming. Like, these games don't even exist for me. It's like they're not even being made. There is no Dragon Age 4 in my mind. Like, to me, it's kind of like, for those of you that follow Alone in the Dark, the franchise, you get Alone in the Dark 1, 2, 3. And then you have, like, the Alone in the Dark 4 and 5. And there was an Alone in the Dark which was so awful, so bad, it had absolutely nothing to do with the game. And most people don't even know it exists. It's kind of like that for me. Kind of like that. It's like, it's just, it's like a U-Ball movie, right? It's like if someone asks you about Blood Rain. Do you know that there were 2 movies of Blood Rain? It's like, no. Oh, maybe they were. Yeah, I remember something. You know, it's kind of like, it's like a U-Ball movie. It's like a new U-Ball movie comes out, and at first you are upset that it's coming out, but no, sorry, at first you are excited, right? It's like, oh my god, like someone is going to make a movie off of my favorite video game, right? So it's like a U-Ball shit. And it's like, well, so okay. You got U-Ball, and he's making Alone in the Dark, the movie. And you're like, okay, this is great. I mean, like, someone makes a video game after a movie. So you go see it, and you're really disappointed. You're upset. And then there's a new video game, Dungeons and Dragons, the video game, right? And sorry, Dungeons and Dragons, the movie. And you go see that, and you're upset. And you're like, who the fuck makes these movies? And you find out it's U-Ball. So now whenever, like, you see a new movie coming out and it's made by U-Ball, you kind of know it's going to be shit, but you go to see it anyway. It's like, you're curious, right? And then after the curiosity goes away, you don't know. It's like, this guy is consistently shit. Like, he is making these movies bad on purpose. And you just don't care. It's like, oh, there's a Blood Rain movie. Who made it? U-Ball. Oh, okay. Now watch. And this is what I'm doing now. And I'm not even going to see Dragon Age, Vanguard, Let's Plays. I'm not going to watch them. I will see clips of them, and I gotta talk about it because that's what I do as a content creator. And I'm probably going to make fun of them, but I'm not going to play it. Like, there's a mental block. You know, at least I have respect for U-Ball. A lot of people don't know. But the reason U-Ball was doing this, like, from my understanding, in Germany, if you made a movie and it wasn't popular, you would get your money back. Like, there was like some form of insurance or tax write-off. I don't really know exactly how the legislation was set back then, but basically if you tried to make like some thing that was pushing Germany culturally and you didn't make it, like the government would try to make sure you don't have losses, because the idea was to push German culture, right? Like to make Germany great again, basically. And they wanted to push German culture. And how do you do that? Well, you do it through music, you do it through art, right? You do it through video games, you do it through movies. And if you wanted to make that, like, the German government would encourage you. It's like, hey, in this business, in this line of work, if you do this, you actually have less risk because the government is interested in you doing it, right? So U-Ball was doing this constantly with the idea of actually failing. So he does get the government grants. And apparently he did it so often that now he has his own restaurant. Like, he opened his own restaurant. He lives in a rich place. Like, he is set for life, you know? And who's laughing now? Path of Exile is free. Yeah. Anyway, chat. I need to go. I need to go make videos for my other channels. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And while I'm not going to stream the game, we will probably talk about people who streamed it. Take care.